Okay, here's one. You'll love this one. Toilet or drawer?
Toilet or drawer?
Yeah,
Hell,
a toilet or a drawer.
I'm not sure where that's going, but I'll choose drawer.
Drawer. Yes, that's the one. I mean, so, of course, I know you and your wife really well. And I remember her telling me a story about one night where you woke up in the middle of the night. Instead of making it to the toilet, you went ahead and went to the drawer. I think it was like her sock drawer or something. and went ahead and filled the drawer up instead of filling the toilet up.
I well may have done that.
Were you super tired or had you been drinking, or what's your excuse?
I'm sure I had probably been drinking.
Now this leads to the next one. So yeah, you picked the drawer over your wife, which is probably good. Oh no, the toilet. So yeah, now wife or drawer? Which one do you go with there? The drawer or the wife?
Oh, jeez. Now I see where this is going.
Because I think you've peed on her too, right?
Oh,
did you pee on her once or twice? You've peed all over her, I think.
I may be guilty of that.
And then, of course, the last one is Clint or drawer.
Oh, here we go. Well, I have to choose Clint at that point.
Yes, because you have peed all over me too. And that's always a fun story. You have to pull the fun stories out. When Mike was on the show, we had to talk about me digging poop out of his constipated ass. So of course we're going to talk about the news story that hopefully will go viral is how Zach likes to pee on Clint. And of course, after he's done peeing all over me in my sleep, he goes and sleeps on the floor and leaves me to lay in the pee for the rest of the night, which was really very friendly of you. Of course, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, how the fuck did I get all wet? And then I look around and you're curled up in the fetal position on the floor. And
I think there was quite a bit of booze involved with that one.
Yeah. Holy shit. So yeah, obviously for all you listeners, me and Zach known each other like 20 plus years, probably getting closer to 30 years. I don't know. I haven't done the math, but we ended up doing, so yeah, that's the end of your rapid fire.
Yes. Man.
But we've known each other for a while and did a couple of deployments together. And I've always said it on here, like, I don't remember much. I have a hard time, like, remember, what is your most memorable moments that we've had together overseas? Are there any standout ones that I've probably forgotten?
Oh, I mean, those are the memories that I do retain, right? Like I have more issues remembering maybe more recent things, but like those events, especially a time with, you, Glenn, Matt, those are the moments that I definitely remember. Chris, even.
Yeah.
I definitely remember you and I sitting in the back of the Humvee, as we're driving through Iraq, invading Iraq, and just laughing about random things that Van was doing up front, or who, Shane was doing up front, and like just ridiculous stuff that we always found, to be funny. And other folks like maybe didn't enjoy that experience as much, but we would always giggle about it.
Right. Yeah. I think that does bring up a good point. So, our second deployment together, or maybe it was our first, I don't know. I don't remember. I get them all mixed up, but I was in an unfortunate leadership position, and the comms guy that we had, right, he was the primary, and, we're in the middle of, basically starting a war and pushing up Highway 1 in Iraq. And he was just, I can't remember what he was doing, but he just wasn't doing his job. So we fired him on the spot. We're like, all right, You're fucking done. You were the secondary comms guy. And were you a new guy?
I was.
Your first deployment was pushing into Iraq.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I forget about that, you lucky little fucker. So first deployment, you're pushing into Iraq, you're a new guy, and now we're but just a couple of days in, the primary comms guy just wasn't making comms, and keep in mind, for those listening, you're surrounded by, other U.S. forces when you're, basically pushing into a country, and it's, probably the closest thing to, I hate to compare things to like World War II, but it was really the closest thing, because it's not like we were going back each night to an FOB and, getting Starbucks and getting a good night's rest, or, had weight rooms or flat screens, in our little, platoon spaces. We were sleeping underneath our vehicles every night. And in some aspects, it was very much just, very rogue maverick lifestyle, cruising the Iraqi countryside, doing what we were told. But so yeah, it's important to kind of note that, because that lends to how important it is that a comms guy do his job, because there's no like, hey, I need this radio fixed, or we need to go pick up extra batteries, or there's no excuses. There was no excuses. We had to make comms with the Marines and other forces so that essentially they when we rolled into different areas, they didn't shoot at us, right? I mean, is that the extent of it?
Yeah, I mean, you remember that. I mean, some of the biggest threats, to be quite honest, were friendly, blue on blue events, because it was so chaotic, right? There's people, there's units, conventional units, special operations folks running all over the place doing, kind of all these different things. And I don't know that we realized that the major oversight in regards to communications and how like the different systems that the Marines use, vice the Navy, vice Army. I mean, it was very dynamic, right? Situation.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the main comms guy couldn't figure it out, and then so you got put in the position and you started figuring it out. And what was the big thing? It was like crypto, right? Like we all were running different crypto, or?
Well, I mean, in particular with the Marines, we eventually, out of Baghdad, got attached to the Marines because we provided that we were able to move forward of the front, right? Remember, and we were doing some recce's on some bridges that they wanted info on so they could move their heavy vehicles.
That's right.
And so, but the problem was we had the same radios, but they were utilizing, I believe, Singars or something. And I mean, we were I think at the time we were the only ones in country with like a 25K dedicated satellite, right?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, we were pretty lucky. We had dedicated satellite, and then we were expecting everyone else to probably kind of be on the same sheet of music with us, right?
Yeah, I don't know what we thought was going to happen, but once we realized like, wow, we really need to figure this out, I went and spent quite a bit of time with the Marines to figure out how they run on Singars, because certainly we couldn't fit all them on our satellite, right? And so for us to flex and they were a much bigger unit than we were.
Yeah.
So for us to flex to their comms architecture was way easier than the other way around.
Right. Okay. That's a good refresher. Singars. I don't think I've heard that since the time you were sitting next to me in the fucking Humvee going, hey, they're on Singars. I'm like, well, I don't know what is that? It's like, just figure it out.
Yeah.
And of course you figured it out and got us back up and running again. And the other guy was all mad for the rest of the deployment.
Oh.
But hey, you don't do your job, you get fired, and there's something to learn from that. Okay, so yeah, the other thing that you just refreshed my mind on was how small a world it really, like the General Kelly aspect of it. I mean, remember we were working for a Colonel Kelly in Iraq, and here's a guy that became a general, obviously became a very popular general, and then worked under Trump. Trump eventually fired all his Marine generals, but, Kelly, obviously a very stand-up guy, and I thought he was kind of cool, the limited interaction we had with him on the battlefield. And he was also pretty sure he was the first flag officer to be promoted from colonel to general in combat since like the Korean War or something.
Wow.
It was really, super cool. Like kind of, obviously a small world of all of us on the ground. And then for him to kind of escalate all the way up to the positions he's held since then. It's pretty cool. But we met him with gunfire going around. And here's this dude, this Marine officer standing there like, hey, guys, I'm glad you're here. We really could use your help. There's some bad guys over there. We need you to go kill them. And he shook all our hands. He looked us all in the eyes, and he turned around and walked away. And it was like, whoa, you wouldn't find a Navy, a SEAL officer of that rank hanging out like in gunfire like that. You know what I mean? It was just really surreal, wasn't it?
Where was that? You see, these are the memories that you know better than I do.
So this was just south of An Nasiriyah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jessica Lynch was held up in that hospital.
Yeah.
And we had just rolled in, and he came out and he said his 2 cents to us, and he was the one that was basically like, there's a town over there called Suckass. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but we've been calling it Suckass, population 80,000, and well, anyway, we need you guys to go over there and kill everybody.
Oh, I remember that, actually. We went over to that bridge. We ended up blowing up some technical vehicles, right? Remember that? Blew up some vehicles and stuff over there, and found a cache under the bridge of RPGs or something, mortars.
Right.
Blew all that up too.
Yeah, and there was like used rubbers laying there. We're like, wonder if these soldiers were just banging each other or what? Because remember, it was like RPGs and a bunch of used rubbers. And they had just you could tell they had just must have saw us coming and ran away, right? It was something kind of strange.
Yeah, they even wrecked their, kind of trashed their vehicle or wrecked their vehicle when they were trying to back up and it got stuck or something. They just left it and so we blew it up.
Yeah, we blew it up. That was pretty funny. Just running around blowing shit up. That was cool.
You're listening to Can You Survive This Podcast? Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and share on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.